There are several systems of the 8 great Mahasiddhas, or the 8 siddhas, several different systems, and even within certain Tibetan traditions, such as the Kagyu and Sakya and Jonang, then you can find, again, there's substitutes. The 8 are not always consistent. The names can change. But some are more or less popular and consistent than others. And one of those that is quite consistent is the Siddha Saraha. Saraha is known as the arrowsmith or the arrow maker. He's also one of the recognizable, identifiable siddhas out of the 84 Mahasiddhas. When you have 8 siddhas, it's much easier because if they're shown as a group, you have context, so you can recognize who's who. And the ones that don't have any clear iconographic attributes, you can just do a simple process of elimination to be able to name who the odd one out is. Anyway, Saraha is quite consistent between the different sets of the 8 siddhas. He is always shown as an elderly man, usually with white hair and a long white beard. He's wearing generally lay attire, so he's wearing lay person clothing. And he's holding an arrow, generally with both hands. It's like he's looking down the shaft to see that it's straight, that the arrow will fly smoothly. Sometimes he'll be pictured with a female consort, but not always. Sometimes with 2 consorts, and we have that in the Palpung system of Situpanchen, but we also have that from the Densitil system, where it's described as the siddhas who are decorating the upper levels of the Tashi Gomang stupas. Then we have a Saraha, and he has a goddess, a Dakini, on either side of where he's sitting for the metal sculpture. So Saraha is found in the 8 siddha system and the Abhayakara Gupta system, the Vajrayana system, and the Sakya Shalu system. So he's in quite a few of the different systems of Mahasiddhas, and clearly one of the identifiable ones. Now, also there are some confusions with him. Savaruha Vajra is a name confusion that sometimes comes up. Savaruha Vajra is another Mahasiddha that appears in some of the different systems. Then we have Shavaripa. Shavaripa is one of the more recognizable Mahasiddhas, but he carries a bow and arrow, and he's referred to as the huntsman or the hunter. And so he has a bow and arrow. He's not an arrow maker. Saraha is the arrow maker. Shavaripa is the hunter, and he holds a bow and arrow, but Shavaripa is also wearing peacock garments made of peacock feathers, and that's very different from Saraha. Now, the other real confusion with Saraha is with a form of Mahakala called Brahmana Rupa Mahakala, and this is really coming out of the Sakya tradition, where you have Mahakala being depicted as a Brahman with white hair, long white beard, lay person attire. So this is generally a conflict between the Sakya form of Mahakala called Brahmana Rupa and Shavaripa. Now, where this becomes a real problem is not so much with painting, but with sculpture when the attributes are missing. So then it becomes very difficult to distinguish the 2 different figures. But with a little practice, it can happen. So that's just a very quick introduction to Saraha.